Hello and welcome to the Junior Year's Parent Information Evening for 2022, except it's not quite a Parent Information Evening. My name is Kylie Cross and I'm the Deputy Principal for ELC to Year 6 here at Methodist Ladies College. Just to give you a little bit of an insight into where I am right now, I'm in Hadley Hall. I've got my amazing theatre manager, our amazing theatre manager, Doug Hounslow, up in the booth recording this, and the Assistant Head of Junior School, Georgie Blackburn, to my right. It is very unusual to be here speaking to an empty audience through a video camera, and it's certainly not how I anticipated I would start the year. It's not how I anticipated I would start last year as well, and it is a huge disappointment to me personally that I haven't been able to, in my second year, address the junior school parents in person. I wish that I could, and I understand that it's possibly disappointing for you all as well. Thank you for clicking the link and having a listen to what my vision and the vision of our junior year's staff is for this year. I think it's also really important to acknowledge that our teaching team is amazing, and this is not what they envisaged either. I've got a lot of nervous teachers waiting to film their presentation today. This is not how, when they embarked on teaching, they imagined they would be interacting with parents either. And it is a credit to them that they have been able to modify their work practices, that they've been able to engage with our parents in an environment that is less than ideal. And I'm hopeful that this period of education will be over fairly soon and we'll be back to welcoming parents on campus and having the opportunity to engage with the community in person. So let's get started. I wanted to begin with the vision of our school, because our junior years operates within our strategic plan, and our vision is to be an international leader of holistic learning and teaching. We have a mission to mentor motivated learners to choose purposeful futures. We live by our values of integrity, mastery, enterprise and justice. And we have our motto, through striving to the heights. So as I'm planning for the junior years in 2022, these are the things I'm continually reflecting on and working with our team to ensure that we are reflecting those vision, mission and values. So we all know our college principal, Dr. Marie Perry, and as I've already introduced, I am the Deputy Principal for ELC to Year 6. There are several other members of our college-wide team that assist with the operations of the junior school. These people are Megan King. Megan is our Director of Innovation. Simone Smalley, our college chaplain, and Chris Kelly, who is our Director of Teaching and Learning for pre-primary to Year 12. So, what has been happening in the junior years over the past 12 months? Throughout last year, we embarked on a review process with the junior school teams. We used the National School Improvement Tool, which is developed by the Australian Council of Education Research, to review the operations of the junior school across 8 domains. The teachers were involved in reflecting on their practice, reflecting on our community, reflecting on the way that we engage with our students. And we've identified 3 areas for improvement. Now, MLC is a great school. And when we evaluated ourselves, we did put ourselves in the high range. But there is a next level, and that's outstanding. And I have high expectations. And so my expectation is that as a school, we will have outstanding achievement in all of our domains, that we will be striving to reach those heights, as we say in our motto. So the domains that we are looking at as our priorities, first of all, are a systematic curriculum delivery. That involves our teachers working with scope and sequence documents that reflect a progression through their years at the junior school. It means we are connected from one year to the next, that our assessment procedures are fair and equitable for all of our students, and that there is a school-wide system for ensuring that each subject is given its correct amount of time on a timetable, that each amount of the number of minutes we spend in our specialist areas is carefully tracked and monitored, so that our girls are getting that holistic education that is a part of our school strategic plan. The next priority is an expert teaching team. Now, we have an expert teaching team. Our teachers are all experts. They are the best in the business, and they're doing a great job. But I want us all to focus on the word team. Teaching, and particularly in a COVID era, can be quite isolating. You're in a classroom by yourself. At the moment, we're limiting mixing of cohorts. And the real focus that we have for this year is on that team, which is why today you'll see our teams presenting our parent information evening, not individual teachers in their individual classrooms. We want to ensure that across each of our classes, we have consistency and that our teachers are supported by each other. And our last one is 3, which is an explicit improvement agenda. We've always wanted to improve, but has it been explicit? Has it been communicated to parents? Are we working together? And a part of this presentation is becoming explicit about what we're doing in the junior years and letting our community know and our teachers and staff know the direction that we're moving in. This was probably the area that I felt, as a leader, needed to have the most focus. So I'm pleased to share with you some initiatives that will take place this year as a response of our review. You're already aware of the changes to Parent Information Evening being a cohort, as well as our collaborative forums being named parent-teacher interviews to reflect a whole college approach. There has been a junior year's leadership restructure. We have collapsed the 2 roles of Head of Teaching and Learning and Head of Pastoral Care into one position, Assistant Head of Junior Years. And following an external and internal recruitment process where we received applications from both interstate and overseas, we appointed Georgie Blackburn to this role. That is an important part of our improvement plan, again, to provide that holistic look at a child in terms of their academic achievement and their pastoral care, as well as allowing each of our teachers to work full-time in a classroom, so we don't have any shared team teaching arrangements in any of our classes in the junior years this year. We have reviewed the home learning policy as a part of this systematic curriculum delivery to give there a clear progression through our junior years for how we focus on home learning and how we work with our students on developing good habits that put them in stead for their transition to the senior years. We will be implementing later in the year a peer teacher mentoring program, which allows our teachers to break out of their classrooms and to develop that team where they're supporting each other through classroom observation, through peer feedback and through peer coaching. We've developed a junior years wellbeing room. This room is located in the junior years buildings. It is a place where students can go to access help and services. Our junior years psychologist will be located in that building, and we'll talk a bit about Marianne in a moment, but that will give students a real place to go and a location where they can feel if they're having a hard time or they need a little bit of help. We'll also be running some wellbeing programs for our cohorts through that room. We're looking at differentiated personal learning for our JY teaching staff. So they're participating in some modules as a team, and I'm pleased to say that our teachers have grabbed this opportunity with both hands. They'll be participating in modules to look at differentiating their programs to ensure that we are catering to the needs of each girl and to give teachers the skills to be able to implement those programs. We're doing a review of our timetable. To make sure, again, with that system of curriculum delivery, that we are putting our resources in the right spot, that we're getting the right amount of literacy instruction, the right amount of numeracy instruction. So throughout the year, you may see some changes to timetables and maybe a little bit of a tweak here and there to some of the periods that are written on your daughter's current timetable, possibly semester 2. I'd imagine it would be semester 2. And we're also doing a reporting and assessment review. Again, those will be communicated to you throughout the year, but we're looking at making our reports and the way that you receive feedback about your child's progress more immediate, that it is something that has got actionable outcomes that your daughters can work on. So those are some of the things that we're working on in a nutshell. I could talk about them for hours, but if you will see them, and I'll put as much information in the Wyvern, and if parents are allowed back on campus soon, we'll run some workshops and some information sessions to give you more details. So let's have a look at our team. So this is our Assistant Head of Junior Years. This is Georgie Blackburn, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about her role and some of the projects she's working on a bit later in this presentation. We have Marianne Campbell. She's our Junior Years Psychologist. I encourage parents and our community to access this really valuable service. Marianne is available to talk about strategies for friendships. I think we need to break down the barriers of what a psychologist is in a school and make sure that we all have an open communication channel through Marianne. She's here to support our teachers, our parents and our students. Vennessa Paul is our Junior Year's House Coordinator. She'll be coordinating all our house events throughout the year. And Helen Beaton is our Junior Year's Music Coordinator. Again, the perfect person for you to talk to about any of your music programs that are happening today at MLC. Our Head of Inclusive Learning is Melanie Lee. She works with a team of inclusive learning teachers that are spread across the junior years. She is your point of contact if you have any concerns regarding differentiating of the curriculum, whether that is for students that are achieving above level or students that are requiring additional support. A few quick COVID updates. This is my least favourite slide. We have been practicing our teacher-directed online learning. I hope your daughters are coming home and showing you a little bit of how they log into Teams, but that is well underway for our teachers. We are operating within the operational guidelines for schools. Last week, those guidelines changed 3 times in 1 week. So we're moving as quickly as we can to reimagine the programs that we need to. And I just wanted to make it really clear that the information that schools receive is often after the press conference. So I know there appears to be a lag. It appears to be that, we're maybe sitting on our hands. We're just waiting to get the official documentation, and we're moving as quickly as we can. And I thank you all for your patience that you've shown, especially in this first week. There is, going forward, a possible impact on our staffing. We are prepared that we are going to have an increase in teachers being away this year, and we're working really hard on our relief structures and building our relief teaching pool to cover this. I know that it is important to our parents to have consistency of teachers, and we're going to do our best. That's going to be particularly challenging this year. We're managing all of our events. We're looking at, the guidelines are that we need to limit face-to-face events. As I said in a meeting the other day, teaching's a face-to-face event, in my opinion, which makes things quite difficult. But we are working to reimagine whatever we can to get them to you in whatever format we can. Camps and tours, these are being remodelled. I think the Year 6 parents, you will get some information today about the Year 6 camp that was due to happen this term and the amazing job that Matt Berry and the Outdoor Ed team have done to put together a Perth-based program for your girls. Chapel and Assembly are cancelled for the moment. We are this week working on how we're going to look at particularly merit awards and how those will be distributed over the next few months. Parent partnerships, I encourage you to get in contact. There are lots of events throughout the year that we're usually running. You would have received your weekly overviews. Your term overviews have been sent. There are parent-teacher interviews in week 10. These will happen online and you'll get notification around week 5. You can request a meeting at any time. These need to be done on Teams. And I just ask that you provide teachers with a little bit of time to prepare. And, giving us an idea of what you'd like to discuss also allows us to really target and make the most of your time. There will be open classrooms in term 2. This is obviously to be confirmed. And Georgie's going to talk to you a bit more about sector later. So what if I have a problem? Please let us know sooner. I'd prefer to know, even if it's difficult to hear, than wait until the end of the year. The worst conversation I have, the worst ones, are when a parent says to me at the end of term 4, oh, we've had a terrible year. I can't fix something I don't know, and you need to, if you can let me know, I'd really love to help. So please get in contact. First with your daughter's teacher, they're the best person to help. If you're still thinking that the issue hasn't been resolved, contact Georgie, and then please reach out to me and we can make sure that we're using all of our resources to get the best possible outcome. And I'm going to hand over to Georgie. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your teacher presentations later. Thank you.
Thank you, Kylie, and good evening, parents. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for your warm welcome to MLC. All the parents that I have come in contact with so far have been extremely welcoming, And I've also enjoyed embracing some of the new smiling faces that I see out in the playground and also in my daily lessons. So thank you, everyone. Tonight I'd like to share with you or elaborate on some of the visions that Kylie has already alluded to. It's an exciting year at MLC, and our vision is to look at our assessment and our reporting and hopefully making it more accessible for parents and more fluency moving forward with how much feedback that you are receiving. My first step in this is to get you familiar with our online parent portal. And you can access this through our My MLC page. If you have a look at the slide on the TV, you'll see that the first box has Connect P in it. This is how you access our Connect Parent portal, and this will have loads of information about your daughter. If you have many daughters at the school, that you can access all their information on here. So tonight I'd like to have a look at that in a little bit more detail. You would have received a login details from the administration team at MLC. If you have not received them, can you make sure that you contact myself and I'll make sure that you have got your login details. But as soon as you press on Connect P, you'll come to a page which requires you to log in. There is also steps if you've forgotten your password and things like that to reset. Once you are in, you come to our home dashboard page. Now this page has many different things attached to it, so let's go through a few of them in a little bit more detail so you have a bit more confidence to see what's on here. If you refer to dot point 1, there's an arrow that tells us what can we actually find through sector. So we can find assessments that have been set by your daughter's teacher. We can see the results. We can see academic and music timetables, and at the end of each semester, you will receive your daughter's school report via this portal. At the moment, we're working through a process with our staff about how do we actually put assessments and regular feedback onto this portal. So over the coming weeks, you'll hear directly from me once we begin this process and how you can access it. If you have a look at dot point 2, that is your messenger bell. So that tells you when a message has been sent directly to you or it's an information that we would like you to read. Number 3 is the assessments tab. So this is where staff will put up coming up assessments so that your daughter and yourself will have prior warning to when something is due or when something is coming up in class. Number 4, that is where you will be able to go in and see your daughter's end of semester reports. They come up in here and it's very easy to access them. And the last one that will be the most usable feature for you is dot point number 5, which is our timetable. So let's have a look at the timetable and what features you can find in that. So in the timetable section, you can see we have the daily and weekly timetables. We have the lesson times, which is really important, particularly if your daughter needs to leave early or late. She might not want to miss out on a class, so you can have a look at what times they are. And the other thing that's really important here is teacher information. And you can actually contact your teacher directly through this portal. So what you need to do, let's say you want to contact your daughter's visual arts teacher, you would find visual arts on the timetable, click on it, a box opens, and you'll see a little icon with an envelope on it, which allows you directly to email your teacher without having to ask your daughter and find contacts through the MLC handbook. So it's quite a great function. But as the year progresses, you'll hear a lot more, and we do have wonderful vision to make sure that we're utilising this and using it for a lot more feedback for you and for your daughter. The next thing I want to touch about is our differentiated learning program, which is very exciting at MLC. At MLC, every student counts. There is no one worksheet that works for every girl. And we make sure that we are addressing every student's individual levels of readiness, interest, and individual learning profiles. Our teachers will modify content, and we make sure that we are addressing the needs of all our individual girls. We need to direct students to specific activities to further their learning and interests. Within this, there are many different levels that we offer this, from one spectrum to offering extracurricular activities such as debating, speech contests, music ensembles, spelling bees, maths Olympiads, And then to the other spectrum, if your daughter needs more one-on-one support, then we make sure that we are providing for your daughter the support, the environment, and the learning outcomes that she needs to be most successful in her everyday at MLC, and also moving through the year levels, that we are preparing her to make sure that she can meet her daily challenges. So thank you very much, and I look forward to hopefully meeting most of you, not via camera and in person. And as Kylie has said, I look forward to you coming to me if you have any problems or questions and concerns. My door's always open. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Georgie. It's so wonderful to have you on the team. Also another new member of our team is Fiona McClarty. Fiona is at our junior year's reception. She is the best contact for you to call if you would like to make a meeting with me or with Georgie. If you require a lost property item or some clarification about our co-curricular programs, if you make contact with Fiona, she'll be able to help you and point you in the right direction. So that concludes the Parent Information Evening virtually for 2022. Let's hope we have a wonderful year. I know we're going to. It's just going to look a little bit different. Thank you for your support. Thank you for choosing MLC for your daughter.